In this video we're going to be repairing this fence post which has been attacked by termites. As you can see, there's a big hole in it because there's a lot of damage from the termites that have been in this post. Now this post has been pretty much hollowed out in the corner along here and up to about here, and that has meant that inside here has been very weak. However, the rest of the post is still structurally sound and there's no give in it whatsoever, and I can't shake it. So for this repair, it's really just for the non-structural part of the post, and it's going to be an easy fix to do. If this post could wobble, then I would not suggest doing it to the post because you need probably to replace it, but I can't wobble this post whatsoever, so there's still a lot of integrity in it. So the first thing you need to do is clean out all of the loose debris from inside. So anything that's not attached and it's loose, you can pull out with your hands is probably easiest, or you can use a brush and just brush it all out to get it all loose, because anything that's loose the process won't work with. Then once it's all cleaned out, I suggest using some wood hardener for rotted wood. You can purchase a bottle like that from a hardware store, and just use the paintbrush and dip it in there and just paint it quite liberally all over the wood. What this will do is it will soak into the wood and make it very hard, and I've already gone through and done that to the wood, so that's why this is still a little bit more stronger than what it was. But anything that's loose you need to take out, so that can come out, but that's pretty much good to go now. I've also put some nails in here just to give it a bit more strength, just to hold that corner on, but it seems to be going really well with that wood hardener. Now this wood hardener takes 24 hours to dry, and I actually did this yesterday, so you need to factor that into the time, and it took maybe 5 minutes of painting with the paintbrush to get it all into all of the grooves and everything for it. The next step, we use this multi-purpose filler. This is a powder substance, and it's can be used for fence posts. So you mix this 1 part of the powder to 3 parts water, and then apply that in that. Now this is quite deep, so it's going to take a very long time to dry, but essentially it will just cover up that hole and all of these cracks if I can get it in there. So I'm mixing 3 parts of filler to 1 part water. So 1. It's a bit a lot easier to do with 2 hands, but just for the purpose of filming, it's probably good enough. And I'll just guess at 1 capful. There we go. That'll do. Scrape that in, get it in all of these grooves. Obviously, if you want, you can treat the posts with termite stuff as well. Probably a good idea to do that. If the termites have been there, they're going to come back. So just pushing all of this into the grooves, get it into all of the nooks and crannies, and it's going to be a bit of a process to get this corner bit in, because I'm going to have to put a lot of it in there. But you can see it's quite easy to do. One of these plastic, I don't know, what do you call these things? Scraper. We just really push it all into these grooves, just to try and get it packed in there as much as possible. And there's a sacrificial ant there, so this is sure to be a success. So it's just been puttied up there, and it looks a bit rough now, but we come back to it in half an hour's time just to give it another smooth over on the outside, because you can shape it a bit better then, and wipe down with a wet sponge to make it nice and smooth. So it's been about half an hour now, and some of it's starting to dry on the outside, and it's really firming up, and it's pretty impressive. It didn't just bow out from the amount of material I had to pack in there. But now I'll just get a wet sponge and just smooth off those imperfections, just so that way there's less to sand. And if we did need to shape it a bit more, we could use this, but you know, it's pretty good at this stage, so I don't need to use that. I'm just tidying it up with the sponge. There's not much left to do now besides just letting it dry, maybe giving it 24 hours at least to fully cure, especially because of the amount of putty that I had to put inside that, the wood filler. But yeah, once that's completely dry, prime it with a paint primer and then paint over the top, and it should be good as gold. This is all hardened up nicely. That's ready to sand and paint, but I've got a little bit more work to do, because this is what it looks like inside. So I've pulled that out. I've put the wood hardener on it yesterday. It's nice and solid now. That's ready to bog up, and same with this side here, and then we'll be completely ready once it all dries to sand and paint. So that's all nice and dry now, so now it's time to sand it back. I've already started here, but it's an easy process if you've got like an orbital sander or another power tool. You don't really want to be doing this by hand, because it will take you a long time, unless you've only got a small little, crack or something that you've puttied up. But yeah, it's a lot easier with one of these. And now this is all ready for painting. Could have probably made this corner a bit more shaped, but that's going to get hit with a whippersnipper a lot, so it'll probably just crack off anyway, so I was happy with it being like that. Actually, I'll sand that little lump off and then it'll be good. But all of this is looking so much better now. It's nice and filled in, and I've still got the integrity of the pole. It's not going to fall over or anything. And now it's ready to prime, because you've got to prime the paint on that, otherwise it will just unstick, and then do the final white coat over the top. So it's important to get a priming based paint, or paint that says primer, to paint on that. It's always good to put this on thin, not too thick, and then if you need to, just do a second coat afterwards. So instead of just doing one thick coat, do two thin ones, and you'll get much better results. And now we're all finished. I've done my last coat of paint on the outside of the fence post, and it's done and dusted. So you can see, it just looks like all the rest of the other posts along the fence. And you wouldn't know that actually had a massive hole inside it, or in here as well. Probably could have done a better job sanding it, but it's good enough. Looks good from a distance, and with white paint you can't really tell. So yeah, that's how you fix a rotten timber post. Pretty easy. If you like this video or it helps you out, please leave a like and a comment below. Even subscribe if you want. Alright, see you next time.